Hello and welcome to our Keele University Clearing webinar. This is the second one in our series and thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Tom, I'm from the communications team and I'll be hosting it, and I'm also joined by two guests who I'll just get to in just a moment. Today is all about answering your questions. Any questions you've got around clearing, please do pop them in any of the chats and I'll go through where you can ask a question now. So there's 3 locations you can ask a question tonight, so thank you for all those joining us on Teams. If you're on Teams, we have the little Q&A function, so feel free to drop a question into the Q&A and I'll pick it up and ask it to one of my guests here. If you're watching us on YouTube, we've got the live chat, so just pop your question into the live chat and we'll pick it up there. And again, I'll ask it to one of my lovely guests. And then finally, one final place you can ask a question is on Instagram. On our story, we've got a little question box. If you want to pop your question in there, we can also pick them up from there too. But I think first of all, let's go over to our guests so you can introduce yourself. Sam, do you want to start?
Yeah, so hi everyone who's watching. I'm Sam. I'm Head of Applicant Marketing and Communications at Keele.
Thank you, Sam. And Andy?
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us this evening if you're with us in the UK, and really good to have you along. My name is Andy. I work here at Keele as Head of Global Undergraduate Student Recruitment and Access, so very much all things clearing has been our life for the last few weeks.
And it is a really exciting week, isn't it? We're what, 3 days now basically away from A-level results day, so good luck to everyone waiting for their results, and we hope you get what you want. But if not, this is why we're here really to talk about clearing. And I think a good place to start is that if you're someone who's just about to start university, you might not know what clearing is. So Andy, would you tell us kind of all the basics of what is clearing?
Yeah, absolutely, and it can be a really common misconception as well around what clearing actually is. And I'd say there's 3 main reasons why you might consider yourself to be in clearing. The first of all, you might get your results on Thursday and think, this isn't quite what I was hoping for. This is a bit of a change to what I was expecting. Let's have a look at alternative university places because I haven't quite got what it is that I was looking for. And universities will often have extra places available when it comes to clearing and results day. And then we can try and move those around for you to try and find extra space. The other reason you might be in clearing is you've done better than you expected as well. And then you might be looking for other options. You might be looking at university you hadn't considered before, or you might be someone who's sitting there watching this webinar thinking, I'd really love to go to university, but I haven't applied yet, I haven't gone through UCAS. You can then apply through clearing as well. So there's lots of different options of why you might be in clearing really. Key thing is to have your results. And that's something we always say, is that when we're looking at people through clearing applications, results are absolutely key. So for lots of people studying, particularly in the UK, your results may come through Thursday morning. Some of you may have results already, but if you're waiting for those results coming Thursday this week, once you've got them, you can then look at other university options, or you might get your university place that you were hoping for as well. So it all comes down to getting hold of your results to give you the power to then choose the universities that you might most want to go to. If you're waiting and you're not sure, and hopefully you're doing really good preparation by coming to this webinar and chatting to us, hopefully, then you're doing really well in that preparation piece. But it's key that you have a look at some of the options that might be out there for you. But I'd say at the minute, lots of universities are considering lots of different types of students. We have had people apply to us for clearing already, so we've been open for clearing since July. So we've had lots of students already interested in coming to join Keele, but the majority of our activity takes place on Thursday.
Amazing. And obviously we're not far away from that day, but is there anything that people can be doing to prepare ahead of Thursday, or is it just kind of wait to Thursday and see what happens?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think obviously again we've hopefully got loads of people here talking to us about clearing and their options. I'd say the number one thing to do is just have a bit of a plan in mind around what you may do depending on the outcome of your results on Thursday. Obviously, we hope it all goes really well. You get everything that you want. You've done fantastically well in your exams, but you never quite know. I think it's always worth having a bit of a backup plan. So if you're not sure and you've got any kind of hint of worry at all, just have a look at university options that might be out there for you. So if you're interested in business, for example, are there other business courses out there that you maybe at the choices you've gone for, but other choices as well that you'd be happy to go to? Look at universities if they've got their entry requirements available for the clearing, and we have on our website as well. So you can go to keele.ac.uk/clearing, and all of our courses and entry requirements are there. That'll be true of lots of universities as well. So if you're not sure and you're thinking just to prepare yourself, have a look at the range of options that will be out there potentially from Thursday, and just have a bit of a backup plan really. A plan B and a plan C, we always say, is a good thing to have, and hopefully you'll never need them, but it's always good to be prepared.
Amazing. And I'll just run through as well. So again, this is a Q&A where you can ask any questions that you like. And if you want to, you can ask them in a variety of ways. If you're joining us on Teams, please do use the Q&A function. So pop your question in there and we'll pick them up there. If you're watching on YouTube, you've got the live chat. So pop any questions in there. And if you go on our Instagram, that's at Keele University, and look at our story, we've got a little question box on our story where you can drop any questions as well. So looking at the day then, so if you're applying for a place on the 17th of August, what should you do on that day?
Well, I'd always say two things. One, check your UCAS application from 8 a.m. on Thursday, and then get hold of your results. And we'll probably keep saying that for the next hour, so forgive me for being repetitive, but it's really crucial to making sure we can make this work. Sometimes universities will honour your place with slightly lower grades than you might have been expecting. That's quite normal. That happens every year. But obviously for you, you might be applying just once ever for university, so it might feel a bit strange. But it's fairly normal. You will see a bit of that potentially on the day. So that's why you need the two things. Check your university result through UCAS and see what universities, if they've confirmed your place or not, and get hold of your results. Once you've got your results, you can then contact the universities if you want to and look for clearing places. I'd say the key thing though, and something that I think people miss every year, is how to get your results. And this will massively vary depending on your school or college, where you're studying. Knowing how to get hold of those results on Thursday morning is key. Sometimes it'll be a text, sometimes it'll be an email, sometimes it might be going and picking them up in person. But if you don't have them, we can't help you, and we want to help you as best we can. So we've had phone calls with people on a beach in Ibiza before. It does make it slightly more complicated, but we can do that. If you know your UCAS status and you've got your results, we're then in a position to be able to help you out as best we can. So when you hit 8 o'clock on Thursday morning, UCAS will communicate a decision to you from the universities you've applied to, then get hold of your results. And then you're in a position where if you're, for whatever reason, you want to either change your mind or you're in a position where you're without a university place, you can start making those phone calls, go online, fill in web forms, talk to us on WhatsApp, a variety of different ways you can contact universities to apply. But it's those two crucial things, the UCAS status and the results, that are really key.
And you said, obviously, you mentioned there, have a look at 8 o'clock is when you can look at your results. Is it better to do it earlier than later in the day, or does it really matter at all?
I would say go as early as you can. Clearing places do fill up really, really quickly, and some universities will fill really quickly. So I would say, I mean, I'm not a morning person myself, but we'll be here at about 7 a.m. On Thursday to make sure we're ready to take all of your calls. But yeah, if you can get those really early, and again, work with your school, college, and they'll tell you the best way to do that. But there's also no point waiting up all night, getting up super early, 6:30 in the morning. UCAS will not communicate their results to you until later on in the day. So if you want to stay up all night, 5 a.m. and keep hitting refresh, you won't get anywhere. It's only from 8 o'clock that we can communicate those results to you.
Brilliant. We've had this question on a variety of channels. So we'll bung it into one. What courses have Keele got that are in clearing?
Okay, so I mentioned this quite a lot when we did our first webinar. Have a look at the website. We've got lots of courses that have still got some space available. Our website will have the most up-to-date list, and the entry requirements, like Andy mentioned earlier, will all be on there as well, along with things like your subject-specific entry requirements if they apply. So keele.ac.uk/clearing. And you get the current vacancies there. At the moment, I can say there are some courses that are full. So, for example, medicine won't have any spaces. And we've got a waiting list for children's nursing, midwifery, paramedic science, pharmacy, and radiography. And then some very limited vacancies on physiotherapy. So at the moment, I know that those are the ones that we're operating a waiting list on. Others, as Andy said, will probably fill up throughout the day. So check the website for the most up-to-date vacancies throughout the day on Thursday. We'll keep that updated as we kind of go and as things sort of move and as things do fill up. So keep your eye on the website. and you'll be able to sort of see the most up-to-date picture there. And obviously give us a call and we'll be able to talk you through what we've got and what we can offer you.
Now, it's a really big decision, isn't it, picking a university? And maybe doing it on Thursday might seem really overwhelming. So in terms of going through clearing, should you choose a university that you've maybe already visited, or is it okay to choose a university that maybe you haven't visited? And for example, if you want to come to Keele but you haven't been here yet, what's the best way of finding out about Keele University?
Yeah, so if you've never been to Keele at all, and you decide on Thursday, right, I'm going to apply to Keele, you get your offer and you're like, yep, okay, great, I'm going to be going to Keele. We've got a chance for you to visit us on Saturday. There's an open day on Saturday, all day. If you can't make the open day on Saturday, we have got campus tours happening Thursday, Friday and Sunday. The campus tours, 9 till 5 on the Thursday and the Friday and the Sunday. So yeah, if you've not been to visit us before and you can come along on one of those days, yeah, definitely recommend it. So you'll be able to get a feel for what the campus is like, you know, have a look around. Particularly on the Saturday, you'll be able to look at our accommodation. We've got 2,500 bedrooms on campus. So have a look around at some of those, see perhaps some of our academic areas, meet people from, you know, some of the lecturers from your course, that kind of thing. So yeah, if you've never been before, I'd highly recommend coming along.
Brilliant. That's keele.ac.uk/open days.
/visit.
Or either one.
Easy, and then yeah, open days, yeah, it's going to get you there. And you can register for the open day in advance. For the campus tours, you know, say you might live quite locally to Keele, and on Thursday morning you might get offered a place. You could pop along on Thursday afternoon if you wanted to and have a look around the campus. You won't be able to do as much on the Thursday, Friday in terms of seeing things like accommodation or meeting academic teams. That will be on the Saturday at the open day, and you can register for the open day. But if you just did want to come and have a quick look and feel what's the campus like, you know, lots of our colleagues are going to be around on that day, and student ambassadors to be taking you around and having a look around campus and perhaps answer some more of your questions. So yeah, pop along.
Brilliant. And if you want to do any research online, is there any resources there?
The website is a great place to look at, yeah, but we have got things like a virtual tour on the website. So if you are living perhaps a bit further away from us and coming up to visit in that time period are not an option, have a look at the website. There's a virtual tour, there's video, there's photos. You can get a real feel for sort of what it's like on our campus. There's information about what it's like to live on campus, but what the local area is like as well. Information about some of the things you might get involved with as a student, clubs, societies, sort of extracurricular things as well. So yeah, lots of information on the website for our applicants.
Brilliant. And you mentioned accommodation, which I'm sure is something that at the top of everyone's priority list. Where am I going to live? If you come to Keele through clearing, do you have to find your own accommodation? Is there any left, or has it already been assigned? So kind of what happens if you join us through clearing? Where can you live?
Yeah, so like we're really lucky at Keele, you know, we have got quite a lot of accommodation on our campus. So like I said, it's about 2,500 bedrooms, and we will have some rooms that we sort of have got kept back for those who join us through clearing. So there will be some rooms available. It will be quite limited, the number of them, but there certainly will be some. If our on-campus accommodation fills up, then our accommodation team will support you in finding off-campus accommodation. So that could be, you know, they'll talk you through options over the phone. We've got an accommodation, the Keele Student Pad, and that is where you can look up what accommodation is available in the local area. And there's lots of available accommodation kind of within maybe like a 2-mile, 5-mile radius, but very close to campus. If it is that you were wanting to live on campus and we were full and we weren't able to offer you on-campus accommodation, and we helped you to find something off campus, you get a free bus pass as well. So you tend to be living quite close to campus anyway, but yeah, we'll help you out in that way. What I would say is a really common question that we get on results day for those people who apply to us through Keeling and apply to us through clearing and get their offer. They want to apply for accommodation straight away. It takes about 48 hours from the moment when you made that offer in writing to have your place at Keele before you'll be in the system for accommodation to be able to then make your application. So get that offer on Thursday, and then so about 48 hours later, you'll be able to then access the link that it will send you to apply for accommodation. If you've not already done so, you can apply for your accommodation then.
So that's why it's really important to do it as soon as you can, kind of thing. Yeah,
I'd say as soon as possible.
Brilliant. They're kind of our generic questions, and so let's move on to some that have been asked in a variety of places by people watching. one that's been asked quite a few times is, and quite an understandable one, is what happens if you don't get the grades that you're predicted? So Thursday comes and the results aren't exactly what you expected. What happens from there?
Yeah, so first thing I'll say is don't panic. Check your UCAS hub, because it might be that even if you've missed a grade that you needed, you might still have secured your place at university, and that's true, for Keele and other institutions. But yeah, certainly if you're holding a place with us, holding an offer with us, and your results aren't quite what you expected them to be and what you needed, do check UCAS hub, because it might still be that we're able to offer you a place, because we're looking at that whole application, as Andy kind of mentioned earlier on. And if obviously you're holding an offer and you don't meet the entry requirements and you don't get that place secured on results day, it might be that we offer you an alternative course, or we can talk to you about other courses that might be available for you to do. But you can, if you're holding an offer perhaps somewhere else and you're thinking about Keele as a clear, to apply to us through clearing, give us a call on results morning, or you can use our online form. You can pop your results in and it'll sort of tell you fairly quickly whether we can offer you a place or not.
Brilliant. Thank you for everyone who's submitted a question. Keep them coming in. Again, if you're on Teams, use the live event Q&A to submit your question. If you're watching on YouTube, you can use the live chat. Or if you're on Instagram, go to our story and there's a little question box in there that you can submit a question. Another one that's kind of asked quite a lot, and understandably, if you come to Keele through clearing, are you going to be one of kind of 2 or 3 people who join us, or will there be many people who've been in the same situation as you? How many people on average come to Keele through clearing?
Yeah, we get asked this a lot. I think you've hit the nail on the head there with saying, are you part of a community of people who've been in a similar boat? And the answer is yes. We have lots of students join us through clearing every year. So really the campus is set up to accommodate that. So in terms of, like Sam was saying, with availability of accommodation, but also our student support services know that we have students come through clearing every year. So we're really set up to welcome you and ensure you don't miss out on any of those crucial communications that every other student will get. So it's not like you'll get here and feel like you're a clearing student different to everybody else. We have lots of students joining us through clearing and lots of different routes as well every year here at Keele. So we're really open and welcoming, hopefully nice and friendly. So if you do come on that open day, hopefully you get a sense of that throughout the day.
Brilliant. So a question from Teams. Can I get my firm choice to release me before Thursday if their firm choice is a different university? Is that possible?
In short, no. So what I would recommend you can do is when you get to Thursday, you can release yourself automatically through UCAS. You don't actually need your firm university to do that. So if you decide Thursday, you get your results and you check your UCAS application, we'll keep saying it, you then decide that actually you don't want to go there and you want to be released, you can make that decision yourself and self-release through UCAS. The one thing I would say is if you're thinking about doing that, make sure you speak to your clearing options first and get yourself those offers. In effect, you can almost, and I don't know if we should say this, but you could almost play both sides. Keep that offer with your firm university. Call up as many universities as you like, and none of these are binding offers that we make. We're saying we're happy to take you with the grades that you're telling us about, but you can keep that offer with the one that you've already applied to. Make sure you're eligible for the other universities as well. And then if you're then in a position where you're quite happy and comfortable with the clearing offers you've been made, you can then release through UCAS and you don't need your other university to do anything at all. And then you can accept one of your clearing offers. But I absolutely recommend get those clearing offers in first. So you've got, the brilliance of choice at that point.
Yeah. And we had a similar question from someone who submitted a question in advance for the webinar, talking about they're holding a firm offer elsewhere. Keele's their insurance choice, and kind of what do they do, to sort of say, actually, I don't want my firm choice anymore. I'd rather come to Keele. And it's a similar thing, isn't it? About speaking to us first on Thursday morning, making sure you get that offer, because if you meet your entry requirements on Thursday, you'll automatically be accepted by your firm offer. So if you want to then be released from that, speak to us first, get your offer sorted out, and then as long as everything's okay, you'll be able to release yourself.
So essentially that initial period on Thursday is an automated process, isn't it? And then from there you then enter into choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the key, is to not do anything too quickly. So do the shopping around, and do, obviously we probably contradict ourselves slightly, do get on the phone quickly, but you don't need to make a firm decision. Perhaps you've got a few hours to give yourself the time to do that and reflect. UCAS won't actually allow you to accept a clearing offer until the afternoon. And that's basically to mean that you don't call someone at 8:01, get an offer and accept it at 8:02. There is a bit of a cooling off period to allow you to go and speak to a few universities, really consider your options, sit down with your support network, whoever that may be, jump in the car and go on a campus tour if you want to, before you then have to start making those decisions. So you don't need to do anything too quickly. Just get on the phone and get your options in place, and then we can pick it up from there later on in the day.
We've had two from teams that we've kind of answered. So how long will clearing take, and when can you apply for accommodation? Clearing happens on Thursday, and then wait 48 hours for your accommodation. If I hold an offer and have firmed Keele but do not meet the grade requirements, so if you don't get your grades, can you still apply for the same course through clearing? Give us a call.
Yeah, it'll depend on the individual circumstance. But what we tend to do is we'll consider you against the lowest possible entry requirement that we would take. So in a vast majority of cases, it may be that we've already considered all the options for you, but we'll also consider, like you were saying, Sam, a course change as well. So actually, if you don't meet the requirements for the course you've applied for, we might suggest an alternative that might be a better fit for you based on the profile of grades you've got. If you are worried, you can just give us a call. But as I say, it usually means if it hasn't worked out, it may not. But if you want to call us back, you can do that.
And another one from teams, which kind of links onto what you were just saying. So, hello, if I have not applied for a course with a foundation year and I don't reach my required grades, can I do my course with a foundation year if I reach the foundation year requirements? And will all of that kind of been taken into account automatically, or should they still give us a call and discuss those options?
Yeah, I mean, we had a really similar question submitted in advance as well, about foundation year. Essentially, if there was a foundation year, for the course that you've applied for, and for the majority of our courses at Keele, we have a foundation year that will progress onto it. If you don't meet the entry requirements for like direct entry onto that degree, like Andy was saying, we'll usually consider, well, can we offer you the foundation year? So you might get an offer, a changed course offer with that slight alternative course in there, which would be the foundation year that would then take you onto that degree. I guess the benefits of the foundation year, we have quite a lot of students who do foundation year each year with us. It's really about kind of preparing you to be able to go on to study at degree level. If you perhaps haven't quite met the entry requirements, so it's that extra year of sort of just preparing you for university level study, really thinking about developing academic skills, your subject knowledge and your confidence, and you'll get your support from academic mentor and all the rest of it. And then as long as you successfully complete, pass that foundation year, you then progress automatically onto the degree course.
One from YouTube now. So will it be the grades that get looked at, or is it the overall UCAS points when you go through clearing?
So we're looking at UCAS points.
UCAS points,
yeah.
Not individual grades.
Yeah, so there will be some of our courses will need you to have a specific grade in a subject. So on our website, on the entry requirements page, you'll be able to see for our clearing entry requirements, our subject specific entry requirements. So for example, it might be something like, a science, biology or chemistry might require you to have an A level in one of those subjects at a certain grade to be able to go onto that course. But generally speaking, we're looking at points, and then with the subject specifics, we're looking at, well, what particular grade did you get in a given subject area?
One from teams, what is the application deadline for a student who wants to join in September? And in particular, they put for the business management program, but is there an application deadline for our courses if you're joining through clearing?
I would say just give us a call as soon as you can.
Yeah.
That's the key, really. So business obviously is a popular course. So when you're in a position, get on the phone or go online, keele.ac.uk/clearing, complete the online form, to get an offer for that course. We always say if you give yourself as much time as possible, it just means that you're in the best position possible to then make the best choice possible. Really, it's about giving you all the tools that you need to be able to make the best decision you can. When we're going through clearing, as students start accepting those offers, our places are getting smaller and smaller and smaller as we go. So it's really hard to judge. Because we hope we'll speak to lots of people on Thursday, but we don't know. If no one calls us, we might be open a while. But hopefully lots of people will want to give us a call on Thursday to discuss their options. So I just say get it in as early as you can. Make sure you get hold of that offer, and then you've got a bit of time to decide whether it's the right fit for you.
Brilliant. Another one around foundation years. They've asked, what is foundation year like? Is it a good route to join through clearing? What is the class size of the foundation year students? Just give us a flavour of what is a foundation year, really.
Yeah, so the foundation year it's a really good option to upskill, really, particularly in academic areas. So again, we've got a really big foundation year here at Keele. We've got loads of students who do it. So as I was saying earlier, students join us in all sorts of different ways, and the foundation year is one of those. If you're studying a foundation year, what it gives you all the building blocks that you need to then go on and be really successful on the course. And actually, our foundation year students do really well when they come on to the year one, if you like, of their undergraduate study. So it's a brilliant opportunity to learn. It's a brilliant opportunity to learn more about your subject area. It's also a good opportunity to have a little dabble in some other areas as well. So for example, in some of the humanities, it may be that you then think, I might have not picked the exact right course. There might be other options that you might consider during your foundation year. So it's a good opportunity really to kind of get yourself ready for that further study, make sure you've got all the skills and academic requirements to go on and be really successful.
Brilliant. Just another reminder, if you are interested in asking a question, you can do so in 3 different places, wherever you're watching us. So if you're watching on Teams, drop it in the live event Q&A. If you're watching us on YouTube, drop it into the live chat. Or you can go on Instagram and go for @Keele University, click on our story, and there's a small question box in there where you can drop a question to, and we'll try and get around to as many as we can in the next sort of half hour or so. Just going back over to the pre-submitted questions now. When on Thursday, if you decide to give us a call, what information should you have to hand? Is there anything that you should prepare before you take your call? And how is the conversation structured?
So you've mentioned this once or twice. You're going to need your results before you can kind of speak to anybody on Thursday morning. So UCAS ID number and results, really. If you call us, we're then going to ask you what your results are. We'll go through a few questions with you about the course that you want to study on and that kind of thing, and any other things that you might have that are relevant. And then in a lot of cases, we'll be able to make sort of a verbal offer there and then over the phone, and we'll know whether we can kind of offer you a place or not. There'll be some courses potentially that might need a little bit more sort of follow-up. There's going to be limited number of places, I think, for the courses that we would interview for, but there may be some where we'd need to start before we can make you an offer. But generally speaking, verbal offer over the phone, and then we'd follow that up with an email for you to consider. I think it's normally 3 days is the maximum to respond to that offer, but I would say obviously the sooner you can kind of make your decision, the better, in terms of then being able to confirm your place and know what you're doing. Once you're ready to accept that offer, after you've spoken to us on the phone, you've had the email from us, you're like, yep, that's me, I know what I'm going to be doing. You go back into UCAS Hub, and that's where you would go to, your choices section, and you would add clearing choice, and you would add the details of the course that you wanted to do with Keele. As Andy mentioned earlier on, you can't do that until the afternoon. I think it's after 1 p.m. on Thursday that UCAS is going to allow you to then do things like add clearing choices in there.
Brilliant. And another one of the pre-submitted from earlier is that how soon will you know if you've got a place? Is it instant? Will you know on the phone, or does it take a bit of time for us to do a bit of admin and then kind of email your place over? Will you know instantly, or will it take an hour or so?
So as long as you give us your results, we should be able to, in the vast majority of cases, make a really quick decision on the phone. Courses that require an interview, so for example, if you apply for adult nursing, it does take a little bit longer, but we've got obviously all of our academic staff lined up to do this. So the process would be, if you called up, 8 and you were really early in the queue, you've got your results, you've checked your UCAS application, you can tell us all about it on the phone. We might be able to then transfer you almost immediately on for a phone interview and a conversation with one of our academic staff. It might be that we then need to book you into a slot. We do this all the time though, so we're really well set up to do these phone interviews throughout the day. The vast majority of courses outside the health professions, we won't be interviewing, but also if you've got those results, we can then pretty much make a decision there and then to get you an offer through. And as almost as soon as we click submit on the phone call, we'll normally be on the phone when your email lands, and you'll be able to tell us that it's got through okay. So it's pretty instant as long as we've got those results. And it's not one of the health courses that requires an interview. It's pretty quick.
Brilliant. We've had some questions on Instagram about existing applications and offers. If you've not heard anything yet, should you be worried? Is there anything you can do, or should you just kind of sit tight and we're working on it?
Yeah, so for postgraduate applications, so I know we've had some questions about students who are wanting to join us for a course. So it's a postgraduate talk course in September. Obviously, our admissions team is like super busy at the moment, and especially this week, looking at those undergraduate offers for results day on Thursday. So they'll be in touch with you ASAP if you're waiting for a response on something to do with a postgraduate application. If you're holding an offer to study with us for an undergraduate course, at the moment, we are in what's called UCAS embargo. So we can't discuss your application with you at the moment until 8 a.m. on Thursday, when everyone gets their results, and we can then confirm your place, and we can sort of, we'll let you know at that point what's kind of happening. So if you are, in touch with us and asking questions about an offer that you're holding for an undergraduate program, don't worry. We can't kind of discuss it with you at the moment due to UCAS embargo, and that's totally normal. That'll be what's happening at pretty much every university.
Yeah, and that's the key, I think, Sam. That's very normal. And again, when you're only ever applying for university once, it might feel a bit scary that you've emailed people and they're not talking back to you and they're not picking up the phone. This happens every year. So every year we can't talk to students in the week before the results come through. So I appreciate it's probably a bit nerve-wracking this week, but it's 8 a.m. Thursday, you'll get those results through, and we'll be working to make sure we get you the best decision we can. But if you were to call any of the universities, they'd all be saying the same thing. So it's very, very normal. It's nothing to worry about. We're just making sure that we're ready to give you the best response we can on Thursday morning.
Question through Teams: what phone number is best to call to talk about clearing options? And do you know it off by heart? I've got it, Sam, don't worry. But I just want to test if you know it off by heart.
01782
Yep.
49
Yep.
11
Yep.
20.
Brilliant. So that is 01782 491120. The easier option is to go to keele.ac.uk/clearing, and there's lots of information, including the phone number on that page, including things like call centre opening hours, contact details for our admissions team, etc. So keele.ac.uk/clearing is probably your best place to go. Moving again over to Instagram, some of the questions that were submitted through there. Oh no, actually, I think this was a pre-submitted question. It's about university accommodation. Can you bring a pet with you to university?
Unfortunately, no. You can't bring pets into university accommodation. So it's an easy one for me to answer, but unfortunately, no, you can't bring your pets with you.
There is a slight asterisk, isn't there, that if you you can bring a if it's a pet that aids a disability.
Animal, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You can do that.
A guide dog, for example.
Yes. And then a specific question about courses and qualifications. So if you just need any more information about a course and you want to talk to someone, is there anything you can do?
I think just give us a call. I think hopefully we're a nice friendly bunch, as I said, really, and we're quite happy to help and signpost. So we will have staff in some of the colleges as well. So if you're studying at a college local to Keele, there might be some people that come and speak to you in person. But also it might be worth just giving us a call if you're ever not sure. So if you want to do that, you can, and we'll be happy to talk you through your options. It might be that you can't study with us, but we can help point you in another direction. Our team are all trained and happy to help and support with whatever people need, really. So if you're ever unsure, give us a call and we're happy to talk you through.
Brilliant. And then another one from Instagram. We've had some questions about grade boundaries? Will you accept lower grades on the day? What happens with the grade boundaries? If you've just missed it, will they lower the entry requirements? Is there any options for you there?
So entry requirements do change around the clearing period. What happens is when we receive the results, we've been doing some of this exercise, we look at the whole application really holistically. So things like your personal statement that you will have worked on, your references as well, they all get looked at again. And if we think that students are in a really good position, but they haven't quite got the grades, but we're happy with the overall application, then sometimes we can make some slight changes. So yeah, if you will see grades move around, and you will see that at lots of universities, but again, it's to try and give you the best options that we can really. But what we always do is we look at how successful students are on our courses as well. So as well as the students coming through, we'll then look at how did they get on, how did they perform on the course, were they comfortable, were they successful, and then we'll work from there and make sure we get those grade points right.
Brilliant. One from YouTube. Can you call your firm choice if you've received insufficient grades? So if someone doesn't meet the grade requirements at Keele, can they still enter through Clear in some way? Is it still worth giving us a call?
I think if you're ever unsure, you can. But as we sort of talked through, really, it's a real tricky one, because if we've already considered the application against all of the grade profiles we would accept, it is likely that we wouldn't be able to do anything really on the day. If you have called and you just want to check, or you want to ask one more time, you're more than welcome to. What I would say, and sometimes this is a bit tricky for people to hear sometimes, but the time you may spend waiting on the phone to us, you could be spending that time ringing other universities as well. So it's just worth thinking about the best use of your time on the day and make sure you're comfortable. Equally, if you think that we have accepted you and your grades are different to what you expected, but you've still been accepted, you can also call us just to check if you're not sure. Sometimes it can look a bit different to what you might have been expecting. So again, if you're not sure, you can call us. It's all just being aware that there's a bit of a wait on the phone sometimes, and being prepared for that.
And so we've had another one through Teams, and I think you've kind of covered this in terms of what we need on the day. You just need your results of any kind, don't you? So whether that's your A-level results or any other results as well, you just need them to hand, don't you?
Yes.
Have everything.
I think yes.
Yeah. Brilliant. Again, if you do have a question for us, you can ask it on Teams using the live event Q&A. If you're watching on YouTube, you can use the live chat, or on Instagram, you can drop it into the question box. We've got a few more minutes if you've got any other questions to ask us. Is there any I've missed, Sam, that you can spot?
So in Teams, we've had a question about IELTS. So that'll be for international students perhaps looking to join us through Clearing, who will need to demonstrate English language proficiency. We talk about that on the phone perhaps, wouldn't we? And then submit evidence of that on via email or portal, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we'd normally run that throughout on the phone with you. Obviously, we can't go into individual cases here tonight. So what we would recommend is just give us a call again. If you've got conditions attached to your offer, which again will be very, very normal, it's about meeting those conditions by the time you accept that offer. In the case of the IELTS English test, again, worth just calling up and having a talk through with us, explaining your results and your situation, and then we'll be able to take all that into account.
Brilliant. I think we've covered a lot there. It's a really, really exciting week, isn't it? You're looking forward to Thursday?
Yeah. It's always good fun. It's really nice we get to hear from students that we managed to find a place for. It's obviously it can be a bit sad as well sometimes if you haven't quite got the place that you were hoping for at times. There was one thing I was just going to add as well, Tom, if that's all right,
yeah,
around trying to make the most of this application. So. I think there's something that often gets forgotten about around Clearing is the student finance application as well. So every single year, people will go to university, use the student finance system to apply for financial support, tuition fee loans, maintenance loans, particularly if you're in the UK. One thing that we'd always tell people to do is make sure once you're happy and you're sorted, is to either get that application in if you haven't done it yet. I'd recommend doing that now. If you still haven't applied for student finance, make sure you do it now. But once you've then applied through clearing, you can then change the university you've nominated on that student finance application. A lot of people will think it's UCAS, done, straight out the door, let's go and celebrate. But I know it sounds boring to do more admin, but the student finance is really important, because ultimately we don't want you starting and not being in a position where you've got the funds that you need to basically make the most of your university life. We do have students every year struggle because they haven't completed that student finance application. And I think that we were meeting with them last week, 77,000 students have yet to do that. So if you're one of them, I just say apply as early as you can, and it gives you the best chance of making sure you can join us on day one and really enjoy it right from the start. So we always say that student finance application, make sure you get that in. Our student services team will be able to help you if you've got any concerns around that. So if you call us up and you want to then speak to someone from student services, we can look to help with that as well. And then obviously on our open day, on Saturday, student service and support will be there. So if you've got any finance questions, the team will be round on the open day on the Saturday.
Brilliant. So in terms of this week then, where will you both be on Thursday? What are you both up to?
We might be here in this very room.
So part of the day we're going to be sort of in the call centre, I would guess, helping with calls and things. I think we're joining you, Tom.
We are.
For an Instagram live tour of campus, which we're very excited about. Fingers crossed it doesn't rain, as it is now.
We will go for it in any weather.
Get the brollies out. And yeah, just sort of, you in schools, are you in a college on Thursday morning?
I won't be, my team will be out and about in colleges, speaking to students local to Keele. We'll also be making calls as well as receiving calls. If you go onto our website and you'd like us to call you, we can do that as well. So again, keele.ac.uk/clearing. You can register for a call from one of my team on the day. So as well as calls coming to us, if you have applied to Keele or you've registered for a call, you may expect a call throughout the day from one of our team who'll be getting in touch as well. So there's a few different things we've got going on the day, aren't there?
And I think Thursday's obviously going to be a super busy day, and lots of people will call us. We'll be calling people. We'll have lots going on, but it kind of doesn't stop there. I think it's just to touch on a little bit of perhaps what happens next, what happens after that. So if you're holding an offer with us, you meet the conditions of your offer, you get your results on Thursday. Congratulations, wonderful. We can't wait for you to join. And after that point, you'll start to get more emails from us with all of the things that you kind of will need to get ready to do before you join us in September. If on Thursday you're joining us through clearing, for whatever reason, and you perhaps haven't got the results perhaps that you needed, and you're going to come to Keele through clearing, for whatever reason, we will still, then be getting in touch with you and sending you all that information that you need about your course, about what it's like, to study and live at Keele. So lots of information will get sent to you, after you've got that offer and you've made that decision on Thursday. From next week, that's when, we'll start sending you things about your IT account and, when to arrive and all that kind of stuff, and all that stuff that we've got going on for our Welcome Festival. So yeah, loads and loads of kind of exciting stuff to look forward to after this week as well.
We've had a few more questions through, so we'll get through those. Yeah. I'm going to leave you with one and then I'm quickly going to pop off just for a second. Don't be alarmed. How competitive is the admissions process at Keele? And I'm guessing they're saying, are they likely to be accepted is probably the question, but what's it like to go through the admissions process, and especially through the clearing process? Is it competitive, or is it quite kind of nice and not too stressful?
Well, I'd like to say it's not too stressful, but it's always up down to individuals really, and whether you find it really stressful or not. I'd say the clearing process can feel quite stressful because it's quite quick. Normally, if you've already applied for university, you've got quite a long time to consider your options, and you've got a long time to think about what it is that you want to then go on and do. So it's really worth just thinking about slowing it all down, I would say. And that's what I would recommend. If you were to try and just take your time, go gently, make the calls and get them in, it tends to then just give you the options. Like I say, you won't be rushed into a decision through UCAS on the day. Give yourself the time, get yourself as many options as you possibly can, and hopefully it's as stress-free as possible. You'll call a party and hopefully they're all nice and calm and they're talking you through it nice and gently and slowly. I certainly will be if you come on the phone to me. But we try and make that as easy and smooth as possible. I think, and I don't want to say it again, but I will, having your results will make it the least stressful as possible for you as possible. So you have got all the things that you need, and it's not a lot really. It's your personal details, your name, phone number, email address is the crucial one. We always communicate via email. So if we don't have the right email address, again, this is one thing that what stresses us out is often spelling email addresses. So if you've got an email address that we can spell, and we'll revise the phonetic alphabet, don't we?
Should you learn all your Romeos and Tangos? Is that
all your Romeos, Tangos, Oscars, the lot. So you're ready for kind of getting that right. But ultimately, we try and make it as stress-free as possible. The ones that are slightly different, I say, are the selective courses. So we often say things like nursing, midwifery, as you were saying, Sam, limited places on physio, paramedic science. Those kind of courses do have that added layer with that interview. Again, I don't think they're there to particularly worry about. It's more just making sure you've got the right skill set to be as successful on the course as possible. So hopefully we try and make it as stress-free as possible, but we appreciate as well that you may be feeling a bit nervous and a bit under pressure. So we'll try and take you through it as gently as we possibly can, and not rush you throughout the day.
And I think something you said earlier on as well, for our applicants, this is probably maybe the only time that they're going to go through this process. But for our teams, we've done this before quite a few times, some of us,
Yeah.
been at Keele a while. And, everybody who you're going to speak to on the phone wants, to see you do well and wants to, be able to help you find a place at Keele. So, very, very friendly team who are going to do as much as they can, to help you out on results day. So if you've got any sort of concerns and questions, do give us a call and we'll do our best.
A question here that we've maybe slightly covered, but I will ask anyway. If you apply for a dual honours course and you miss the grades, would you then be offered a single honours or a foundation year through clearing?
It depends, I suppose, on what the combined honours offer is and what the entry requirements are for that particular programme. If there are any subject specifics in it, for example, it may be that if you didn't meet the entry requirements for that particular combination, potentially you could be offered something else, or maybe maybe a single honours. So, for example, if you were looking at doing a combined honours of one subject that didn't have a subject-specific requirement and one subject that did, and you weren't meeting that subject-specific in that other half, you might just get offered the single honours then. Or maybe a foundation year that would allow you to progress onto the combined honours. So it does depend, and our admissions team will be kind of looking at all of that in terms of the whole picture of your application, your grades, what subject specifics, your personal statements, so the whole thing to see, can you still have that place on the combined honours that you're holding.
And will you get emailed that? Will that just show on your UCAS, or will we call the student? And if they do get that via email or on the UCAS, are they then welcome to call us and talk it through? Is that okay?
Yeah, so you'll get, you'll see in UCAS it's an alternative kind of offer that you've been made. If it's a change of course, you'll be able to see that. We'll also email you. And we're also going to call you. So we'll have a list of the people who are issued with an alternative course on Thursday, and our teams will be calling them just to sort of talk you through that process and just check if you've got any questions about the alternative course that you've been offered, answer any of those questions that you've got. So, like Andy was saying, we're answering calls, we're making calls to people who've asked us to call them, and for people who've perhaps been offered something slightly different to what they were expecting, we're going to call them as well and kind of just make sure if you've got any questions, we'll answer them.
All of the above.
All of the above, essentially, yeah.
Brilliant. One from YouTube. If you don't accept the clearing offer on Thursday, will the place then be lost? Essentially, if we make you an offer through clearing, how long have you got before that place is no longer valid?
Yeah, so we normally say about 3 working days, and the reason for that is so that we can try and monitor those spaces filling up. Because what we didn't want you to do is then come on to day 4, 5, 6, and then go, oh, hang on a minute, there's no space all of a sudden. So we normally say within 3 working days. What you can do, again, if you're still not sure on day 3, just call the team back, talk through those options again, and we might be able to flex that a little bit. So there's loads and loads of ways you can do it. But we normally say around that 3-day mark is what we'd aim for. But it's not like it won't time out within an hour or anything. And lots of the time it's worth just having a chat with those universities. Some might say they want you to do it in 24 hours, but just talk to them about what you're thinking, when you're thinking, and your various different options. They'll be able to talk through the best route for you.
And then finally, a couple of questions through on Instagram, and I'll lump these together because they're very similar. Will there be a waiting list for specific courses when you call? Will there be a waiting list for when you call? So is there a waiting list on the courses, and is there also a waiting list on the phone lines? How does that all work?
So there is on some of the health courses. Yeah. Some of the health courses we do operate a bit of a waiting list model, and that's again to try and make sure that we can keep options open for as many people as we can throughout the process, really. So it's, particularly in some of the health areas, we do have a waiting list, but not in the vast majority of our courses. In terms of from a calling side, yeah, you get put into a queue when you're on the phone. Hopefully we've got some great music lined up. I don't actually know what it is, but hopefully it keeps you entertained. We try and have loads of staff volunteering though. I think we've got over 100 people volunteering on the phone line this year. So we do try and get through to people as quickly as we possibly can. Be prepared for a bit of a wait, and again, you may only do this once. We do it every year. It's super normal, and again, that's why there's that 1 p.m. Time from UCAS to not allow people to accept those offers too early. It gives you the time to be sat on hold a little bit, and we get it's really frustrating. I think the other thing to remember there as well is there's other ways to contact us. So again, if you go to keele.ac.uk/clearing, there's the web form that you can complete as well, or register for a call back. And sometimes it still takes us a bit of time to get through everyone who's asked for a call back, but you could do as many options as you like and speak to us in whichever way you want to. So there's loads of different ways of doing it. Just giving yourself as many options as you want to really is key.
Yeah, and that online form, it's there now. So if you've got your results already, you can go and use it. But on Thursday morning, obviously, once you have got your results, if it is that you can't make a phone call, you just want to sort of pop your details in that form, that will come back to you quite quickly with an answer on whether we can offer you a place or not as well. Yeah. So if you can't get on the phone to us, you can use that online form. One thing I just thought of. I did see a question around people sort of making multiple calls. So, it's busy and you've got a plan and who you're going to be calling on Thursday morning perhaps. And, someone else in your household might also be on the phone on a queue for you. We need to speak to you.
Yes.
Once you get through on the phone. So if, for example, there's a couple of places that you're thinking, actually, I'm going to call on Thursday morning, and you're calling one and perhaps Dad's on the phone to somewhere else. When you get through, it'll need to be you on the phone who just goes through those, goes through your results, goes through your questions and who you are and things. We'd sort of discuss that with you as the applicant.
So it's not like buying Taylor Swift tickets?
Unfortunately not.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you for everyone who's asked a question there. They were all brilliant. There's a couple of people in Teams who've asked very specific ones around. They've sent us kind of their grades and things like that. Who are they best getting in touch with to kind of talk through options?
So it would be the admissions team, but obviously this week, super busy as you might expect. So yeah, like I said earlier on, and Andy's also mentioned this, from an undergraduate point of view, it's UCAS embargo until 8 a.m. on Thursday, so we can't talk to you about the offer that you're holding with us at the moment. For postgraduate offers and any queries that you've got about that, our admissions team are going to get back to you as soon as possible next week.
Brilliant. So finally, if you are thinking of joining us at Keele this September, what is your one piece of advice that you would give to people?
Can I do 2?
Okay, fine. You just changed the question.
Check your UCAS application and get hold of your results. I just think that's the absolute key. I've been on the phone for many years. I won't give you a number, but we've spoke to a large number of students who go, "Oh, I'd really like to apply through cleaning. Have you got your results?" No. great, really good you're interested, but we can't do anything if we don't know the results. So I've probably mentioned it, I don't know how many times, you could probably go back to the video and count. But those are absolutely key. If you just get hold of your results, know this where your application's at, and then we can do lots of things for you then, and we can be really clear with you about your next steps. But if we don't know those two crucial bits of information, we're a bit stuck, really. So we want to be as helpful as we possibly can. So if you can help us by getting those two things sorted, it will mean that when it comes to results day, we're in the best position to help you.
I have the perfect question that someone has just submitted about that.
Okay,
It's so
fantastic.
related.
Good timing.
Someone already has their grades right now. Do they need to wait until Thursday?
No, you can call us.
Yeah.
Not
Can you call us,
now.
Andy?
Right now.
Give us the number, Andy.
I can't give
Sam
you the
passed the
number.
test.
01782 491120.
Give us a call.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can call us tomorrow. Phone lines will be open tomorrow from, I think, 10 till 4.
Do you want me to just run through that now? So if you are interested, go to keele.ac.uk/clearing. You can call us on 01782 491120. Phone lines are open this week these are all UK times as well. Monday to Wednesday, we're open 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. On Thursday, they're open at 7:30 a.m. through to 8 p.m. On Friday, they're open 8:30 a.m. until 6 p.m. And then on Saturday, they are 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. And then finally on Sunday, they are 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. And then they go back to normal opening hours, which is 10 till 4, isn't it?
But you don't need to have been taking notes there or memorise those. It's all on the website.
Keele.ac.uk/clearing. Brilliant. Sam, what is your one piece of advice, or two, seeing as Andy gave us two?
I mean,
You can just give us one.
I'll go with two
Oh,
as
fine.
well.
Go for it.
I mean, first I would say just, try and sort of stay calm on Thursday. And it can, it might be a bit of a stressful morning. And I know that, if you don't get the results perhaps that you're expecting, it can feel, quite intense. But if you can, just try and stay calm. And give us a call, or if it's another university you're thinking about, give them a call. Everybody wants to see you do well, and everyone's going to be rooting for you to get that place. So that would be my first thing.
Also, can I just say that someone on YouTube also just said the same? Biggest tip, stay calm, you'll get through to the other side of this. Yeah. Take heart and take courage, you'll get to uni somehow.
Oh, thank you.
That's
That's
thought.
really good advice. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And the second thing I would recommend would be, if you are made an offer on Thursday and you've not been to visit us before, if you can, come to that open day on Saturday, because you're going to meet lots of the team from both the student support side of things, from the academic side of things. There'll be our students on campus, who are student ambassadors, to take you around and sort of show you what the campus is like. So yeah, that would probably be my top tip.
Amazing.
Stay calm. Come to Keele.
Thank you both. You have been fantastic, and I hope you have a great day on Thursday, whatever you're doing. Just to recap those really two important web addresses. So you've got keele.ac.uk/clearing, and you've also got keele.ac.uk/visits if you are interested in joining us on Saturday and having a look around our beautiful campus. We really, really hope that whatever happens this week, you get some result from it that is really positive, and we hope to see lots of you here on campus in September. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have got any other questions, please do contact our admissions team, keele.ac.uk/clearing. And yeah, hope to see some of you on campus soon. Thank you for watching.
Good luck, everyone.